powered by Riverside FM.
Welcome everybody to Choey and Jandler's The Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour. Welcome, Choey.
Welcome, Jandler.
Dude, I watched this week recently the Seinfeld episode where they had the Super Terrific Happy Hour, like the Fun Time Super, and I was just like, hey, that's the name of our podcast. I know where we got it from.
30 years earlier.
Yeah, how did they know? How'd they know? But it is what it is. All right, let me jump in real quick to the...
Here are today's effing holidays.
Yep. Time that out, Will. All right, today is July. This week's episode is September 26th. You know, it's our 7th episode of the year. We're nearing 150. This is 147. Almost at that 150 mark. In case you're curious.
I'm just curious how you got July from September.
No idea.
Like,
no idea what I was thinking.
Wait a second.
Dude, so I'll tell you, so there was a little... This week was a good week for holidays because I had to pick and choose. Did you know today is Johnny Appleseed Day? It reminded me of us. Celebrate Johnny Appleseed Day with a delicious apple-inspired treat. From pies to smoothies, there's something for everyone. Remember, we talked about Johnny Appleseed one time. And then also, Choey, this is for you, Joseph. It's Love Note Day. Spread love and kindness on Love Note Day by writing heartfelt notes to your loved ones. A small gesture that goes a long way. You'll get one in your email this week. Just, I love you, Choey.
I'm like, what the?
It was also National Pancake Day, just so you know. And I was like, I love Pancake Day. It's National Hug a Vegetarian Day, which that was pretty cool too. And it's Shamuel Day. You know,
National Amanda Day. What the heck?
Yeah. Well, you know, we gotta let everyone you know that's named Amanda, right?
I'm like, dude, if I ever hit the lottery, I'm gonna make our own holidays. I'm gonna make each individual holiday and then a together one too.
So we did a
1.5.
Choey Day, a Jandler Day, and then a Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour Day.
Yep, or maybe even a week.
Yeah, money well spent, right? It's the honorary week for us. All right, let's roll on to the
invest all our money and like Discovery Channel has a Shark Week. Followed up by Fun Time Super Happy Hour.
That'd be awesome if we start rivaling Shark Week. I don't know if we got enough to talk about in a week. We should be making it up as we go. What's new though, right? What's new?
We could be hosts of Shark Week. They're like, oh, here's another scary episode for you, Choey.
Dude, honestly, we've already tangented, but I thought of you. Honestly, I think it was yesterday on the playground. I was like, there a few years ago, I remember talking to this girl, and I was like, what would you rather do? Go to the beach or go to the lake, right? And I said lake, and she agreed. But then I was like, wait a minute. I mean, I like lakes, don't get me wrong, but I hate snakes. And I'm like, you know what? When I go to the beach, I've never had a problem with the beach. You know, I'm not afraid of the beach like Choey is. I'm all right with it.
I'm not afraid of the beach. I'm afraid of the things that are in the water next to the beach.
He's like, seashell. What? Sand?
Sunburn. Umbrellas.
Anyway, headlines.
It's time for this week's edition of Choey and Jandler's Headlines. Yay! Hooray!
All right, let me start off here. Hey, I got it right now. It's September 26th, right? I got it, Choey. Dude, so we had we're in the 6 weeks, right? We have, instead of a 9-week grading period, we have a 6-week grading period. And I'm used to my last district, we would have a unit assessment with every unit, you know, like, because not every unit goes along with the 6 weeks. Sometimes you do maybe a couple units, but we had a end of the 6 weeks. They call it CCA, you know, common assessment, but it was just a quiz/test, whatever you want to name it. So we had one on Wednesday for reading, one on Thursday for math. Dude, the network goes down Thursday. Actually, it was slow all week, but I had to test on math on Thursday. Dude, that was a pain. All I can say was a pain. And I was talking to teachers at recess, and I was like, look, I think I've told you before, I got nothing against my district, but we got this small mentality. We need to like step up our game. And I was like, when the network goes down because high schoolers get online, I was like, that's a traffic thing that goes back to your network and your server. And I was like, that is podunk right there, dude. It's like, because I was like, man, if they don't fix this by start time, oh my gosh, you know, oh my gosh, it's gonna be a nightmare.
And then when you
You
get
still,
those three tests in a year, be even worse.
dude, I was talking to somebody today. So I was watching Manchester United, and he reminded me, like, yeah, we're opening a new school next year, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. It's gonna be even worse at this rate. It's like we just need, like, I don't know. It's like we got the server from like 1980 or something. It's like, oh, more than two people are online. Uh-oh. You know,
It's like 1990s dial up.
it's like it was like danger, Will Robinson, danger. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, there's a pop culture reference for you.
That's an
Back in the
old one.
'60s. I know. That's where we're watching the not the new stuff, but the reruns on like Nickelodeon. Second headline, and this has been going for a while, but I haven't talked about it because of other headlines. So now we have to type in our employee ID number every time we make a copy, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, if they're tracking us or what, but it's annoying, dude. It's annoying, bro.
Trying to see how much you spend on paper.
Seeing how much
Everything's
we like
digital.
copy if we're not using like what we use district provided curriculum, but district provided curriculum only lasts so long, man. Like if I'm doing word problems for a whole week, I can't use that one book lesson 5 days in a row. Kids are like, "Hey, we've done this. You ever dealt with that?
Yeah,
Hey, we did this yesterday." Yeah, shut up.
we did this already. You're like, yeah, you're still getting a bad grade.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just do it now. Do it again. By the way, this is one of those episodes where I'm like, there's not a lot of feedback on some of these things. I'm like, uh-oh. Choey's like, boom, 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 boom. We have to go to the
I'm
bag
enjoying
of
the fact
tricks.
that you're ranting now. By the way, I'm just enjoying the fact that you're a
Yeah, well,
little.
I don't. Yeah, because I was just like, I feel like, feels like you're busy. You're worried about your spider bite, right?
I'm not worried about my spider. I'm a little bit worried about my potential spider bite. You never really
Potential
realize like
spider.
how much you don't look on the other side of your arm until like you gotta look at the other side of your arm. I'm
You're like,
like,
I
oh,
can't. You're like, I can't see it. There's something there.
like you know, they're like that whole thing. Like I know that like the back of my hand. Well, I would hope you know the
Yeah.
back of your hand because you can see the back of your hand. I can't see the back of my arm, so I'm a little worried. I'm like, I'm all, I'm all. There's articles in Playboy. I didn't know this. Do the girls write them?
Yeah, exactly. Dear reader.
I'm all. I read those all the time. I know exactly what Bambi likes to do and what her favorite food is.
Dude, next headline, right? What's what's the I don't know when you've experienced it. I love how kids don't understand how to clear their internet search history. So when they'll be like, Mr. Bing, so and so's on this website, and I'm like, bring it. I'll be like, hey, bring me your computer, and they'll close down the internet. They're like, oh, if I close every window, he won't know. And then I look at it, and I'm like, what are you doing on YouTube? What are you doing on Twitter? And they're like, how do you? And they're like, how do you know I'm doing that? And I'm like, don't worry about it. But it's
You
just
should
funny to me.
you should get you should get it and then be like this, and then pretend like you're typing a bunch of stuff to search it up.
Yeah,
I found it. They're like, he knows everything.
they're like, how did you do it? How did you do it? It's like it just makes me laugh. I'm like, it's crazy, dude.
We're
Hey,
getting new headlines. This just in.
yeah,
Breaking news.
spider bite, confirmed. What?
I really hope it's not a spider. No, well, you're typing another one in the line.
Oh, I thought you were telling me something. I thought you were giving me a headline.
No.
No,
I'm all breaking news. I think
is
I'm
it?
allergic. Ugh. You're
um,
all, Joey, are you there? I'll just finish the episode by yourself. Dude, I, on the way to work today, I heard the latest one on on TikTok or Instagram, where it's got the
the
adult
dude
film
is like,
star that
no.
introduces and says, on this episode, Joey's voice will be subbed in by Grumpy the Care Bear. I was like,
Oh yeah.
wait, what?
I've been wanting to do those like Star Wars shorts, and you've kind of like I guess you've been busy because you haven't replied on the text or whatever. And I thought about that. I was like, you know what? I may have to just sub his voice with with somebody. The girl with the career one of theirs is funny because I was just making fun of you. That was the one where you were like, I had you complain about everything over the summer. That was Choey on summer break. You're like, get out, get off the street.
I don't complain
Um,
about it.
no, I know. It's just funny when I say you complain about everything.
I realize that I complain about a lot now because the show. Like I was like, it's like a 4 years ago revelation. Like I complain about a lot more than I really thought I did.
dude, you want to talk about a small world, right? So I had a half day Monday because I went to the dentist on Monday morning or the orthodontist, and then I went to school. So I'm at the orthodontist, and the lady, like I'm getting Invisalign, right? Well, I have Invisalign, so they wanted to like I guess make new trays or whatever for my mouth, and so then this lady has to like take like an X-ray, and then she's like she has to take photos with this camera, and she's talking to me. And by the way, she liked my polo with ties, kind of like you. You know, she was like, "Hey, so that's pretty cool." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, so I'm trying something new." But I told her, I was like, "Yeah, I'm a teacher." And she's like, "Oh, really?" She's like, "What grade?" I was like, "Third grade." She's like, "Oh, get out. My kid's in third grade." And then she's like, "What school?" And I told her what school. And she's like, "No way." She's like, "My son's at that school. He's in a he's in one of the bilingual classes." But it's kind of funny. I told her, like, I didn't recognize the name. I was like, "Hey, you got a photo of him?" And she went and got her phone, and she showed me. Was like, "Yeah, I've seen that kid." And so I went back to the school that day, and at the end, I was like, I popped my head in that classroom, his classroom, and I talked to his teacher, and I was like, "Hey," because he was crying because the teacher took up a toy that he wouldn't put away. You know how kids are, right, with
Yeah.
toys. And I was like, "Hey, I met his mom today." And I was just thought that's kind of cool. And she actually, apparently, I think that mom had messaged that teacher. She's like, "Hey, I met Mr. Bing today." I just thought it was crazy, small world, you know,
Yeah.
go figure.
It would have been awesome if she was like, oh, he's in, he goes to that school. He's in Mr. Bing's class.
I'm like,
You're like,
I know him.
that's me. Has he said something bad? And she's like, oh, don't worry about it. Like, I don't need any feelings. What are you doing?
Yeah, she she was asking like how the kids are or whatever, and I was like, we got a lot of kids. And I was talking about certain behaviors or whatever, and she's like, I think I said something that was like, "What's not your son?" And she's like, "No, you can tell me if it is." And I was like, "No, really, it isn't, because I recognize your son. I've seen him, but I really don't have any interaction with him, because he isn't trained to my class like others." So it was just kind of funny. But she's like, "Well, now I know somebody there," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, now you know me." So I thought it was just crazy. I can't go anywhere without meeting somebody. I feel like, "Hey, I know you."
It's like that a lot. Like you go, like I can't go. You go like the opposite side of town, and you still run into somebody, and you're like, dude,
And this isn't a small city. That's the
no,
craziest part.
no, it's not. And that's what you're like. Out of the 1.5 million plus people, I
We gotta
still
be
run
put.
in.
We gotta be pushing 2. I think we gotta be close to 2, man. It's just insane,
Probably.
insane.
We'll
And
see here in what 5 years when they do the next census.
and no offense, we can blame this on. It's not a champion show. We can blame it on. I don't know, jerkful Jan. I don't know. But I was driving. I was driving yesterday. It just hit me. I think you and I we've complained about traffic before. What I don't like is when people like it's one thing when it's slow because there's an accident or there's a lane closure, right? It's another thing when it's slow because the speed limit's 50 and people are doing like 38. And it's like, dude, go to speed limit, you know, or get off the road. Oh, it's just
It's when like it slows down, and you're like everybody's like hitting the brakes, and you're like, crap, crap, what's going on? And you're like slow for like a quarter mile, and then all of a sudden it just gets fast again. You're like, no accident, nothing in the road,
yeah.
no entry lane, no exit. It's just some reason somewhere somebody tapped a brake for a second, and everybody's freaking out. And you're like,
I remember years ago. I don't know how you are, but just sometimes I think I get bored sometimes driving, depending on how far I got to go, and I start just like analyzing random stuff in my head. Stuff that like kind of that 5% that irks me. I'll be like, what the heck? And I remember thinking about this probably at least 2 decades ago about reasons why there's a traffic jam. That was always what that to me. That's like I said, lane closure, construction. I get it. Accidents, I get it. But the third type is when it's slow because, like I said, it's 50, and there's one MFer that's doing like 10 miles below the speed limit, and then everyone's got to go slower because of them, and that just backs everybody up. And it's just like that's like I said, that's someone's fault, and that's what I don't like. I'm like, oh, so. But anyway, any headlines for you, or do you want to go to the break?
no, I'm good. No headlines.
You know, it's almost new month. It's almost October. Right around the corner.
Halloween's coming soon.
Yeah, get your costume out there. All right. Breaking song, sir. Left button. There it is.
We say prost, Gumby, cheers mate, and cheers mate again, or simply cheers. Sometimes it's all toss Santa, other times it's cheers up. You effing hoser, you effing hoser. We also say sawday, salute saluti, or tagay, skull. Let's all say Nazdarovia in the Russian way. In Vietnam we shout out yo, Walugi Wawa makes South Africa glow. In Portugal it's a solid soul. In Budmo, Ukraine's here to stay. In Thailand we clink and shout out Chon. Then back to the bar till the liquor's gone. For Jamaica it's allowed you mourn. No matter the place we drink till dawn. In India we say cheers or body hole. Hungary says he just did it, don't go too slow. New Caledonia joins in with a la vote, let it flow. In Taiwan we shout out Ganbei. And Singapore says Yam Sing all the way. Cheers, cheers around the world.
Do you remember when that was like 30 seconds?
Yeah. Well, because we had like 9 countries.
Yeah.
Oh, the bell's back.
Well, now I remember
The
to push
bell is
it.
back.
Yeah, I need to remember to push it every each episode. But no, yeah, when we had like, there's like a 20, 30 second. I remember when I first did that with Suno and like texted you,
Yeah.
right? Because I was going to keep it a secret. But I was excited, so I wanted to share it. And then you said you told your family because you liked it too. And your family was like, get over it, man. Just like,
And I was like, "What? You don't understand. We're not singing this." And they're like, "Yeah, we know." And I'm like, "Well, but you know what I mean."
it's funny, like just watching you and me listen to the song as it's playing or whatever. I was trying
It's
to.
a good song. Like, and the thing is crazy. It's crazy to me that like it's all computer generated. Like, at some point, I feel like the computers will take over just because they're gonna be like, "What do we need you for?"
Real quick, because I know that version doesn't have Lahaim for Israel, Joy Hawk for Bangladesh, Naj Darovi for Poland. I think it's Eyes Fikata for Lithuania. And now, and also we have Ghana, Akpateshe, and then Serbia, Zavili. All right, so lots of new.
Hi there. I'm here to help Choey and Jandler to read an advertisement for BuyBlacket.com. Please shop BuyBlacket.com. Are you looking for unique gifts at unbeatable prices? Then look no further. BuyBlacket.com has quality merchandise for everyone on your list, from gifts for cat and dog lovers to American fans, beer enthusiasts, and even Jesus lovers. As for teachers, we didn't forget about you. Please don't miss our funny attire to brighten up your classroom. So bring a smile to your loved ones' faces and shop BuyBlacket.com today. Tell them Choey and Jandler sent you.
Hi there, Ryan Reynolds here on behalf of my friends Choey and Jandler. You may know me from movies where I either save the world or ruin Thanksgiving. But today, folks, I'm not here to sell you cologne, crypto, or questionable NFTs. I'm actually here to tell you about Fish.audio. This isn't really me talking right now. This is my voice, made by Fish.audio, which frankly is terrifying. It sounds exactly like me, and trust me, I've heard my voice in 87 trailers. This is better. Whether you're a podcaster with a potato microphone, a game developer building an army of space dolphins, or just lonely and want a perfect Morgan Freeman to read your grocery list out loud to you, Fish.audio has you covered. Fish.audio is easily one of the best voice generation platforms I have ever used, which is saying something, because I've done voiceover for a toothpaste brand in 4 languages I don't even speak. And speaking of that, Fish.audio is cross-lingual, which means it supports 13 different languages. Their amazing program also allows you to clone voices. Fish.audio make your voice legendary, or at least make my voice say weird things. I legally can't stop you either way.
stuff going. Speaking of AI, right? One of my other friends, they sent a thing. I guess somebody did with AI, some Metallica, and they like reggae versioned it, right? And so it's pretty cool listening to it. Like, hey, like the Metallica songs, but like a reggae
Hey man,
spin
interesting.
to it or whatever.
Hey,
Exactly, right? It was cool, but it's fun. I got to listen to more of it, but I liked it.
instead
I
of the
was
little guitar intro for Inner Sandman, it's like a little like Rastafarian beat, like the drum. Boop,
yeah.
boop.
That thing that's like a steel drum, man. I like the steel drums. I want to get one for when we go watch the United parties. But steel drums aren't cheap.
Dude, nothing's cheap. Nothing's cheap anymore.
All right, Choey, this second half of the episode, and we're moving along at a breakneck pace, so I'm feeling happy. I'm gonna start off with a little Ask a Principal segment, okay? You ready for this show?
I
You ready,
guess.
Doc?
Am I doing a dream thing again?
No, this isn't this is I wish I haven't the last couple of dreams I remember aren't like funny. So I'm just like, no. I was like, we're not gonna it's pointless to make fun of that. No, so every day, right? We go to recess. There's there's this one kid who gets by kids that are on swings, right? And he'll do like cartwheels in front of the swings, right? And kids swing by, or he'll do like Matrix style, like with his body, like can start to like move out of the way at the last second. He thinks it's a game. So what I want to ask my principal is it wrong for me to hope that kid gets kicked one of these days?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. It would be funny.
It would be funny, but I want to be like, lesson learned, right, kid?
Well, and I'm like, dude, like one of these days he's gonna like slip. I mean, because if it's like any sort of playground type stuff, unless y'all have like that rubberized ground, like if it's
No,
dirt
we
or
have
rock,
what do you call it? We have the gravel. Remember, there's little
yeah,
rocks and stuff
like
in there.
there's a good chance at some point he's not going to move quick because the shift under the feet will move. He's gonna get clipped.
I think I've watched him, and I think he tries to like pace the rhythm of them swinging or whatever, right? But yeah, there was one of the days this week that he just barely got out of the way. You know, like when I see in my last school, I would see kids would be swinging, and other kids would be like playing tag, and they would just run in front of the swing. Or run behind, and like they weren't paying attention, and they got like in my 11 years of actually going back to when I was subbing and all my history as a teacher, I've never seen a kid get clipped yet, but there's been a lot of close calls. There's some kids they aren't paying attention, and I'm like, you're gonna get rocked, bro.
I just feel like too, like I was trying to think in my mind, like I feel like the swinger, like as long as they don't fall off the swing, like for the most part, they're just delivering a hit. Like it's not gonna
Yeah,
feel.
like if it was it makes if they ever did a thing like that on a Hollywood movie, it'd be funny because you see, but they're gonna get them at like a 15-mile-an-hour pace. I feel like like some of those kids get some. There was one kid this week. He had a good, like he put more torque in it or whatever. I swear his head was level with the top bar. You know what I mean? Like that kid was high because he was doing it, and we've talked before. Like he wasn't high on weed. He was high in height or whatever, right? But
Glad that our show is to the point where we have to specify.
we have to clarify that, right?
So you're like,
Yeah.
that's
But,
nobody was going there except for us.
But the kid, I think I've talked about it on one of the seasons before, where like when we were kids, we didn't have fear, but as a teacher, I'm scared for these kids sometimes. But that kid was going so high that I was just like, oh my gosh, I hope he didn't fall off. I hope he didn't lean back. I was like, you're like 8 feet up there. It seems like
I remember we would
10
try
or whatever it is.
and when you felt like I'm not getting any higher, we
Yeah.
would try and sit there and like push the swing off. It was like one of those fun things. Like, let's see who can let like dismount at the highest, and then thinking back was dumb.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
dude.
like at the
These
highest point, and you're just like, "Whew, let me fall now."
these kids, they do it still, and I try to stop them, but you're like, hey, don't jump off the swing, but they just jump. They just launch themselves, and I'm like, and they land, and they're all right. Like there was one, like you know what they're doing now is a lot of times they twist their body as they're swinging high because then you're kind of you don't have that smooth control. You're kind of just spinning, and I'm like, and I keep telling kids stop, watch, and they're like, what's one kid's like, we got it, and I'm like,
You're like,
well,
you
you
do
got
until
it,
you don't, dude, and it's
yeah,
not.
it's exactly, you got it until you fall, and then I'm like, oh, but anyway, anyway, so I was like, I want to ask Dr. Joseph Tribbiani that is it wrong for me to like, dude, can you get kicked
Just once, not
just to
super. It's like not super hard, like in the balls or anything.
yeah,
Just like, clip him on
just
the like,
enough.
tag him right on the shoulder where he's sore for like a week.
Just enough to learn a lesson, which, leads us into the next segment of Teachable Moments with Jandler Bing. Obviously, if you were to get kicked by a swing, I'd be like, hey, maybe you don't run in front of the swing, I'm just saying. But no, so this week's teachable moment, right, is every morning I ask kids, did you eat breakfast? And what always gets me is the kids are like, no. And then about 30 minutes later, they're like, I don't feel good. My stomach hurts. And I'm like, and then and you ask them all these questions, and then you find out they didn't have breakfast, and you're like, yeah, that's why your stomach hurts. Breakfast is important, people. Not just for teachers and adults, it's important for kids too. There was one this week, one student was like, he goes to the bathroom, and then he comes out, and he's like, oh, my stomach. And, they play it off as like they got a stomach pain or they got potential flu, whatever. And then make them a nurse pass, and the nurse is like, yeah, after talking to them, they didn't eat breakfast. And I'm like, I asked you, kid, if you had breakfast. Now you make me look stupid. I sent you to the nurse for this. I said, yeah, I sent you to the nurse, and the nurse is like, he didn't have breakfast. No wonder his stomach hurts. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. But no, breakfast is important, people. I'm just telling you. It's for everybody. For everybody, right?
And you need to have at least something. Like that's the thing is like I know that sometimes like I won't eat, but like I've had like fluid with like calories kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like so you
Yeah.
have I don't know, like a little breakfast shake or something like you have to take something. Otherwise you get hungry.
Well, I
People
try
get-
and I know kids don't get it like we do, and actually I don't even know how many. I mean, some adults get it. Not every. There's people that don't like breakfast. Okay, but when you do the math, right? I'm one of these do the math people. You have lunch. You have dinner at night, normally around. I guess some people eat at 7. And then you don't eat again till like 5, 6 in the morning. Dude, it's almost 12 hours. And some people eat dinner at 6 and then wake up at 6. And I'm like, and then you don't eat breakfast, and I'm like, so the food is important to your body because it's gas, it's fuel for us. It's hard to focus and listen in the class if your stomach is rumbling. It also makes you weak, which kind of makes you a little sleepy. So it's just like, I'm always telling these kids, at least go get some orange juice, drink something, get a little sugar in you.
and it makes
And
you
they're
irritated.
like, they're like, no, I got this. And they're like, do you really? And like I said, I'm always like, we're not gonna eat snack for like 2 more hours. Go get something to eat. It's like, no, don't worry about it.
Some people just don't. I don't know. Like there's like countless research and science out there for all sorts of crap. Like you can become addicted to caffeine to the point to where like if you don't have your morning cup of coffee, then you become irritable.
Yeah.
Like so these people like I kind of always want to be like, hey man, when people are like I'm not a morning person, I'm like, is it because you're not really awake, or is it because maybe you need to have something in it, take something in, to where you stop being such a whiny little bee about stuff? Because that's the thing. I get like this. Oh, I'm not a morning person. I wasn't a morning person either when I was transition from like college to like to normal stuff, like normal job. Because I'm getting like, you know what I mean? Like college, I'm working at a restaurant. I'm like staying up till like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. So morning for me was like 10 or 11.
Let let me
You're a
tell
real
people
gentleman.
I was laughing, and I agree with you, but I was laughing because you caught yourself, correct? Because you're like, I wasn't a morning person when I was transitioning.
Yeah. That was
I was like,
always a
people are gonna be like, "What?"
I still identify as I still identify and the gender that I was born as. But
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? Like if you took me and like the habit that I had formed for like years and years of waiting tables and bartending and college life, and then the next week they're like
Yeah.
real world job, like yeah, I'm not a morning person because I'm used to getting up at 10, not 5:30 or 6.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you stay up till 2 a.m. and then wake up 3 hours later, obviously, you may be able to do that for a couple of days, but there's gonna become a point where you're just exhausted, like
But these people that are like they're like I'm not a morning person. I'm like you've worked the 9 to 5 or the 8 to 5 for like 10 years. You're doing something wrong.
yeah.
You're
Well,
doing something.
I also wonder, and I know, and this is just my point of view, but it's like, take a shower. I know some people like I showered at night, and I was like, yeah, but I shower every morning too because it wakes me up. Like it helps like refresh you and be like, not only do you smell nice and clean, but you're like, I'm awake. I'm a lot more awake now than I was before the water.
Yeah,
So
it's
anyway,
just,
that's
I'm like
just
do something because like
that's
you have 10
just
years of this. Like your whole life sucks. Is that what it
that's
is? Your whole life sucks.
that's just Choey and Jandler trying to help people in the morning. Get some food,
Help
splash
us,
some water and soap on yourself.
help us, help you,
Yeah,
help us,
exactly.
help you. Because then maybe, just maybe, you can pay us back by driving 60 instead of 50 in the 60 lane.
Exactly. And dude, I think that's one of my favorite lines from Jerry Maguire. Help me help you. But yeah, these people, these people. All right, Cho, you want to do the socials or what?
I was trying to find it on
Or
all this, but I think I'm in the wrong season.
do you need some assistance?
But
You
I
need
know it's at Choey and Jan, at
uh-huh.
CHOEY, the letter N, JAN,
That's
for
TikTok and X, by the way. But you're
TikTok
right.
and
Uh-huh.
and then at Choey and Jan too, and that's at CHOEY, the letter N, JANTOO for
Threads and Instagram.
Threads and Instagram. Facebook is the Chandler Bing,
Yeah. And
and
then
then
YouTube is
Chandler
Chandler
Bing
Bing
six
969.
oh nine
Yeah.
six. There you go. I keep wanting to say 619, like a little Ray
Yeah.
Mysterio.
Exactly. Same for that's crazy too, because that popped in my head too. 6969, but no, not quite.
You know, like come out and I'm like, "Where's your mask?" You're like, "Don't worry about it."
Dude, I wonder 969 area code. I wonder if they have that. 969 area code, just so you know, is for South Yemen. So just saying. It's
I'm
country
all
code for South Yemen. Maybe we can get Yemen listening to Joey and Chandler now.
whoop,
We
whoop.
give him a shout out in a way.
The
I'm
Yemeni.
going to Yemen. This is a
I don't even
Friends
know.
reference. Remember that when Chandler broke up with well, he didn't really break up with Janice. He's just like, I'm going to Yemen. I'm
Oh,
moving.
that's right. Didn't he end up
Yeah,
having to get like a actual like ticket, like he was gonna
yeah.
leave?
She wouldn't say goodbye. All right, go now. Go. Anyway, pull the plug time.